We are recording. So we are recording today, folks. We do have a student that is out today, or out for the next couple days, so we want to record for them. So please speak up when we're doing our discussion. We are going to look over the court cases to a degree. Pretty much we're going to look over the remaining court cases that we haven't discussed. I believe that's court cases 8 through 12. The last one is Texas v. Johnson. We're going to look at. Remember, we're doing 1 through 18 for our test. Our test is a week. Is it a week from tomorrow? Is a week from tomorrow. Yay! You guys are going to do fine. The only thing you have to be concerned about with this test is ensuring that you have enough time. That's the scary part when it comes to this. Like, we're going to start immediately. You're going to come, sit down, grab the test, and start. Yeah, it's going to be handwritten. Yeah, I think it's going to be handwritten. Yeah, and well, you write FRQs, so you probably should write this stuff too. I mean, until they go to a typed FRQ, we're always going to handwrite stuff. So we might as well do it that way. Yeah, and the way it's going to go is I'm going to jumble up the course names. They're going to be out of order. And then pretty much I'm going to ask you for the theme. I'm going to ask you for the impact. Please realize in some of these court cases, the theme and the impact are very, very similar. For example, Marbury versus Madison. Marbury versus Madison deals with the idea of judicial review. It established the idea of judicial review, which means the Supreme Court can rule the constitutionality of an action. So pretty much the theme and the impact are very similar. Again, if you can, in the time allowed, you need to explain everything. No, you only need to explain it one time if you do the explain everything thing. Yeah, you don't have to, every time you mention it, it's kind of like the idea of why you use pronouns. Like if I say Chloe and then I say she, I don't need to keep saying Chloe, 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 Chloe. Okay? So once I explain judicial review one time, I don't need to continuously explain it. Like if you did the idea of selective incorporation in your sentence, or in your paragraph, or in your answer. If you say it in one time, don't necessarily have to refer to it unless it's a separate answer. Unless it's like you're answering A and then B, then C. Does that make sense? You'd want to do it each and every time.
You want to write a paragraph?
I'd prefer paragraph form. I would prefer not bullet points. I don't want to get into those nasty habits. No years. I've never seen the years being asked. And again, I want to address something really quick before we go on. And I might have already addressed this before, but I want to make sure we're on the same page. I realize that I do not go into these court cases very deep. I know I don't. It is by intention. And some AP teachers be like, that is terrible that you don't do it. But quite frankly, I don't care because, and you two saw this yesterday, I have never seen an FRQ go deeper into the questions than what I'm having you do a week from tomorrow. The theme and the impact. If you know what the court case is about and you know what it established, you're in great shape. They can't. And I would rage. I would rage in Salt Lake City if I saw them ask for like the historical aspects of it. The one thing they may do that's a little tricky is they might have you take the impact of the case and relate it to something else to make a connection. So don't freak out if you see something like that because we can make the connections to anything. Like how does Texas v. Johnson affect the rights of protesters? Okay, you don't know Texas v. Johnson. Texas v. Johnson deals with flag burning. How does that affect? Well, Texas v. Johnson, through its impact of symbolic speech, allowed or gives more freedoms or more rights to protesters in protesting the government. You see how I made that connection there? I'm not teaching you that with every single case, but don't be afraid if they ask you to do that, okay? And that will come with practice. Oh, I know who that is. That's the hospital reminding me of my appointment. So don't freak out. Don't freak out. Don't be like, oh, Mr. Carver didn't teach us this. This is terrible. No, there's no way I can teach you all those connections. We could literally spend 10 years talking about each individual case and all the possible connections there. So don't freak out, okay? Good. Let me grab my other book. I did not grab it. So what's the first case there? Is that the clear and present danger to Schmidt case, right?
Yes.
Okay. So again, let me start over. To give you an observation of something I want to make sure you know when it comes to theme, you will notice that all those court cases always had that subtitle there. Please, that's part of the theme. So what is part of the theme of these court cases that we're all going to discuss? Free speech. It's a free speech case, okay? Just like the selective incorporation case. Just like the establishment clause cases. That's part of the theme. Trust me, folks, remember I said we got to make our answers broad? This is a perfect example of us saying a free speech case could be the difference of you earning a point and not earning a point in an FRQ. So please make sure that when you are asked about these court cases, you refer to that this is a free speech case or a First Amendment free speech case. You know what I mean? Like, again, we're trying to hit as many things as we can. We're trying to hit everything, okay? So all the cases, part of the theme that we're talking about today is free speech. So the Schmidt case, there it is, case deals with what? What's the other part of its theme? That would be the impact. Limiting free speech. So the theme of the case is a free speech case where limiting free speech was discussed. And what was the impact, Jimmy?
It was a free speech can be 1%.
So your free speech can be limited if that speech presents a clear and present danger. Now, you're not expected to know the clear and present danger test, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you, I don't really know it. I think it's not like the lemon test where it's really easy, it's like 3 parts. But there is a clear and present danger test to speech. But a good example of something where it could be limited is if you went into a crowded movie theater and yelled fire. You could really hurt people. Now, if there's a fire, yeah, good for you for yelling fire. But you could also cause a panic if there wasn't really a fire. Or if you run into a room and say, oh my gosh, and I mean this with all sensibilities, but it is a real thing, there's a gunman. There's someone with a gun. You would cause a mass hysteria. Now, if there really is one, then you're fine. But those are types of things that can definitely be limited when it comes to speech. Okay? Are there any questions on this court case? Again, I know I'm not going into detail. I know AP teachers all across the country are cringing right now because I'm going through this so quickly. Know the theme, know the impact, and you will get a 5 on the exam. Okay? The next one, the New York Times. I probably should open my book. New York Times v. Sullivan is the next one. Okay, beautiful. This one's really interesting because it's relevant today. What's the theme, Miss Kels? And can you say it loud because we are recording?
The theme is statements made by public officials. Would that be like this? Or like limitations on
There you go. I would go limitations. But what's the other one?
defamation?
Oh no! Come on now. Look at the subtitle.
Actual malice?
Nope, that's not a subtitle. Big black letters. We said it was for the other one too.
Oh, free speech?
Free speech. It's a free speech case. Oh, yeah, it's that obvious. So yes, I would deal with the ideas of maybe dealing with defamation of character could be part of the theme. Again, there's multiple answers. Free speech would be overall, or limitations on print media or limitations on media groups on what they can say. And then what was the impact, Rihanna? Oh, here it is. All right. What's the impact? Sorry. Has to deal with, what's that key word right there? Actual malice. Okay. What? Okay, we got it. Don't be afraid. Okay. Actual malice. What the heck is actual malice, Mr. Phil?
Like causing harm to their reputation.
That's true. That's defamation. But what's actual malice mean? No, not physical. Hurting their character, but they had to prove actual malice. What does that mean? Think again.
Actually affects them.
Well, it's going to affect them. It's going to affect them. Anybody got a guess? Help them out a little bit.
Is it like
You're intentionally trying to hurt someone. If I go around saying Phil is a crazy kid and he wears a yellow tie funny, there might be a chance that you could prove actual malice by me saying that I hurt you. I hurt your character. But that means that if I want to sue someone for defamation of character, I need to prove that they intentionally tried to hurt my character. I'll give you a good example of this that is very recent. Who knows who Jesse Ventura is? No one. Oh my goodness. Jesse Ventura is a former pro wrestler. He was actually the governor of Wisconsin or Minnesota. Maybe Minnesota. I don't know. I forget. He's obviously not the governor anymore. And he's a former Navy SEAL. Okay, he's a former Navy SEAL. One of the most famous Navy SEAL books out there right now said some pretty bad things about Jesse Ventura. Anybody know what that book is? American Sniper by Chris Kyle. I've read the book. Within the book, there is a section where Chris Kyle talks about how he punched out another SEAL, supposed SEAL, because they said something like he was glad, the supposed SEAL was glad that SEALs were coming home dead. He implied in the book, he didn't say the name, but he implied in the book that it was Jesse Ventura. Jesse is now suing Chris Kyle's family, his wife, the foundation or whatever, the book, for defamation of character. But Jesse Ventura has to prove that there was actual malice when Chris Kyle made those statements. He also has to prove that that part of the book was referring to him. I guess I could probably look it up.
If it doesn't say his name, then how can you prove it?
That's going to be a difficult task. A difficult task.
Is that where they have to bring like outside information to see?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm going to pull up the book real quick and just see if I can find it while we're going over other things. Because I do remember that part. I read the book about 1.5 years ago.
It's really hard to win.
It's incredibly hard to win. It's incredibly hard. But what they're probably hoping to do is to settle it out of court. That's where a lot of lawsuits end up.
Was it
Out of
even
court.
hurting him? Like in any way?
Oh, it destroyed his reputation in the steel community. I mean, it destroyed him. I mean, it really hurt his reputation. Badly hurt. Miss Kayla.
Obscenity is not always an impact.
Okay, that's the impact.
Free speech,
Free speech and
prevailing community
no, the limiting of free speech. In Rothville, United States, the court ruled that obscenity is not protected. Your language can be limited because of prevailing community standards. So I can't go around saying some pretty awful words, folks. I'm not going to give you examples, but you can't go around saying certain things.
What's the prevailing community standard?
That's a good question. It's a really good question. And I don't have the best answer for you because that is open to interpretation. And it has changed over the years. But as long as you know prevailing community standards, you'll be fine. You'll never be accepted to interpret anything. You'll never be. That's completely unfair because how could you rule an interpretation to be incorrect? So again, remember, your answers should not ever be opinion-based. They're never going to come out and say, what is a true conservative? No. But they might say, who has a tendency to vote liberal? Women. Who has a tendency to vote more conservative? Middle-aged white males. That are trends. That's not an opinion. Okay. Tinker case. The Tinker case is so important, folks. I think I'm going to try to have you guys listen to the Tinker case sometime. When we get more time, maybe before the year's over, or this year, 2015, is over. But something that I do want you to understand is the Tinker case is used in a lot of other cases, specifically cases that deal with student rights. Okay. The history of the Tinker case deals with students protesting the Vietnam War. A group of students decided to come together and wear black armbands as a form of protest against the Vietnam War. The school got word of this and said, if you wear those black armbands, you are going to be kicked out of school. Well, all the students, some of the students didn't wear them, some of the other students did wear them, and they were asked to take them off. Well, Tinker refused to, and he was expelled. And he sued, or Tinker sued, because it was a violation of free speech. And the Supreme Court ruled that, yes, the students do not shed your constitutional rights at the schoolhouse gate. You are protected by the Constitution, by the Bill of Rights, even in school. That's where you get that point there. So it has to deal with, free speech, has to deal with student rights. And then the impact is there are protected forms of protest, and that students do not shed their constitutional rights at the schoolhouse gate. Again, all this stuff is in your book, folks. So please, and I'm glad most of you have the paper copy. Most do. Just write it right in the book. Write it right in the book, okay? Does everybody understand that? We're going to listen to the Tinker case, but are we good? Makes sense?
Listen to what, like the ruling?
No, listen to the actual arguments. It's on oyes.com. It's really a cool site.
So what would you say the theme for that is? Just freedom of speech?
No, I said it was. The theme is freedom of speech and student rights.
That's
Your
it.
rights as a student.
To word it on the test, we just say
The theme of Tinker v. Des Moines is student rights, and it's a free speech case. There you go. Again, you think like a teacher, like yesterday. What do they want you to prove that you know? Remember, that's the reason for questions. See what you know. If you can figure out what you want them to prove, you'll have the answers in your brain. You just got to figure out what answers. That's the hard part. It's that guessing game. It's that guessing game that's difficult. So we just got to work on thinking like a teacher, using our critical thinking skills and saying, I think they want me to say this. All right, and then last but not least, we had Texas v. Johnson. Texas v. Johnson, beautiful. Texas v. Johnson's very simple. It's a free speech case. Symbolic speech would be an additional theme. And flag burning would be another theme. And it dealt with flag burning as a form of symbolic speech and is protected. Because Texas had they made a law that said that it was illegal to burn the flag. Because you have to realize that Texas is very, very conservative. It's a very patriotic state, I guess you could argue that. So, yeah. That good? Think we can do the test a week from tomorrow? We got donut review tomorrow. Is that good? Is everybody gonna make it? Yes? Are we gonna make it? I'm talking to you, the one that lives the closest, other than these two.
Well.
Well, about that,
Yeah,
my
so-
bed is so comfortable.
Okay, the thing is, Tessa's car has been broken, so I've had to drive her. But her car
Okay.
is fixed, so I will be
Wait a second. You had to drive her?
Yeah.
So why would that cause you to be late to donut review?
Is she gonna come?
Well, then how is Tess? If Tess is taking you tomorrow, how are you going to be here?
No, I'll drive my own car.
You could have made Tess come here.
To donut.
Yes, she would have gladly ate a donut.
She's late for the regular time she's supposed to pick me up. You think she would come to this?
Well,
No.
if she's your friend, she'll do it.
Show up at her house.
If you tell her she can sit in at donut review, she'll come here. Send her a message right now and say,
Really?
Mr. Clapper was wondering if you would like to come to
She's
donut
sick.
review
She probably
tomorrow.
won't even-
She was scratchy yesterday. We're not done, by the way. Get your notes out.
Oh wait, what?
Hey, welcome, stranger. I missed you.
I thought we were done at 15.
You had no, not today, but you did yesterday. It was you're good then. See you, brother. Missed you. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about a little bit when it comes to political parties is the ideas of party discipline. Please write that down. Party discipline. Have I already discussed party discipline with you? Okay, it's really quite. Yes, sir. No, you're no problem. I'm thinking Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah, not tomorrow or today. It wasn't today. All right, I'll see you, bud. Why are people so blooming loud? So party discipline. Well, let's see if you can figure it out. Irina, what do you think party discipline is? And I want you to scream it because remember we're recording. Come on, guess. I know, just guess. If you're wrong, be like me. I'm always wrong. We got to learn to. I want you to set a New Year's resolution to always guess. Who has a guess? Jimmy, guess it.
That means our party member have to vote for the party, right?
Exactly. That's completely right. Yes. Yes, that is completely right. Jimmy, you better. Jimmy, I'm upset this. It's being recorded, so you know if you don't get a 5, I'm going to China and we're gonna have a little conversation.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be knocking on your door like, why'd you get the 4?
Wait, what was it again?
You better get a 5 too.
Sir.
You don't think you can get a 5?
Not 5, but
Why not?
not at this moment.
Well, okay, but at the end of the year you can, and you're gonna get a 5 too.
I will.
All right. Apparently, I have to be done teaching because everybody's getting let out early. But party discipline is exactly like Jimmy explained it. It is the ability for a party to vote along party lines, and it is accomplished several different ways that I will explain to you later. I can't wait to listen to this one. Sorry for the background noise and recording done.